It's Monday. It's Mark Pyers. And it's real talk.
I was walking down the road today, looking for another way
to ease my mind
and help my living.
It's real talk. It's the daily variety show, Mark Pyers Real Talk. I'm here to help you make smarter moves, to amplify your current state, and I'm here with you on Monday, day 448 in a row. And before we get going, just head to YouTube, subscribe and ding the bell. This is the show that goes. I'm here twice a day with you while we go through this ordeal. We're all going through it. You're not alone. I'm here with you. I'll continue to show up. You know, I met a guy a few weeks ago who said he likes to listen to podcasts. He said, you know, the one thing I can't stand about the podcast I listen to is that they're only on Monday through Friday. Sometimes on Saturday and Sunday, I'm just like, man, I wish I could hear those guys, but they're just not live. So the fact that people can rely on you and know that you're going to be there to provide something, fresh content, that is something. And Donald Trump is calling in right now. I want to make sure you guys are on for the call. This is really, it's the newest segment to the show as we get a daily update from Donald J. So let's get into it. What do you guys think? Do you guys like
Sunday,
these face swaps?
I wish I could hear those
I wanted you
guys,
guys
but
to
they're
know
just not live.
the new service. You could have a personalized face swap done for a friend, a loved one, whatever. You could have anybody call someone on your behalf. A little note, a little love message. You could also have a personalized song written about somebody. That's another thing. But let's see what Donald has to say today. Hey, Donald, are you there? Donald. I hope he didn't hang up. Sometimes he hangs up. He doesn't like to wait around for me. I like to do the intro to the show, and he likes to get right on the air, which I get it. You're Trump. I get it. But I mean, Donald, he could wait at least for me to finish up with my intro. He's so like, I'm the president. I don't like to do his impression to him. He doesn't like that. Donald, are you there? Donald. Hello, Donald.
Well, Mark, I want to thank you for having me on again today.
Thank you for coming back. I appreciate it.
It's been a whirlwind here. I'm trying to figure out what we do with coronavirus.
Yeah.
Do we shut down the government? Do we shut down business? Do we send checks to everybody?
Maybe all of it. Maybe.
All of the above?
Yeah,
Well,
I think so.
it's possible. We need to figure it out now because it's getting really scary out there.
Agreed.
Did you see Rand Paul has coronavirus?
I did. I saw that.
Who's next? Mitt Romney, maybe? I heard Mitt Romney may have coronavirus. That would be a good thing for America.
Why?
Did you see what he did against me in the impeachment process? It's ridiculous.
Silly.
So who's next? Who are we going to see? Kevin Durant? Oh, he has it?
Yeah.
Did you know that in
Yes.
Italy, if you put the numbers next to Italy, it's not looking good.
No?
No. It's looking very, very dangerous for us. So we need to self-quarantine. We need to stay inside. Are you doing that, Mark? I hope you're staying inside with your family.
I am. I'm here. I'm in the studio every day now, twice a day.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's what I want to hear. I just want to know that you're doing what you can to stay safe.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you for having me on the program again today.
Love having you on the show, Donald. Love it.
Every time I come on the show, we seem to get into some new things, don't we?
We do, yeah,
But look,
we do.
I have to tell you, I am here. Every day I'll be briefing you with an update on the Real Talk program, so keep tuning in.
Awesome.
Just make sure you tune in. Real Talk twice a day during this
That's right.
crazy ordeal.
Twice a day.
It's
That's right.
keeping us occupied with entertainment. Such a beautiful thing.
Trying, Donald.
Anyway, I'll see you later. Thanks again, Mark, for having me on the program.
He always does that. He always hangs up on me at the end. But that's our president. He's back on a daily basis to give us a rundown of what's going on out there. So make sure you tune in, subscribe, and ding the bell if you want to get that presidential update on a daily basis. And this is going to be a pretty quick real talk. I got some stories for you guys. I got stuff to do. Mainly hanging out with my kids, and then I'll see you guys late tonight after they're in bed for a longer real talk like last night. Last night was such a great music night. I'm not sure if you guys tuned in. You should go and watch the episode. There was some really great moments. And I just dropped, DJ, what's up, buddy? I just dropped last night's show as a podcast number 59. You can get it on any podcast network. It's free to listen to. It's free to download. And there are 59 of them so far. But of course, we're on day 448. So you got some catching up to do. But that podcast was great. Guys, there was a lot yesterday. It was the full spectrum. I say a great Real Talk is a little bit of everything, okay? And that's what we had last night. And basically, it was a 2-hour episode. And the music was fire. I was just feeling it with the guitar last night, guys. It was happening. DJ, I'm so glad you popped over, my friend. I'm always glad to see you pop on. Thank you so much for all your support. I'm here with you guys. I'm showing up. That's all I can say to you. I'll be here every day. If you have anything you want me to get into, anything you want me to discuss, just ask. Any questions that you're kind of dealing with. You know, there's a lot of anxiety out there right now. A lot of stressed out individuals that just need to maybe let it out, express themselves a little more. That's what this program is here for. You know, it's the full breath of life happening on a daily basis. I'm letting my moment happen. That's basically what it is for 448 days. And I'm going to continue to do that. Donald Trump called in again today. How cool is that? So I'm going to get into the news for you. Let me get into some topics. I got like 5 stories for you guys. I just want to get into them, make sure that we're listening to it all. Did you guys hear this? This is the song I improvised 2 days ago. I'll get to the news on this. Dees, how are you, my friend? Nicole, I'm so glad when I see everybody popping on. Nice Monday. We need some motivation, some inspiration to keep up above the negativity of this world. So I love seeing you guys tune in. This is what it's about. We need to connect. You're gonna let your worries go, 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 go. I said let your worries go. Your worries go, your worries go, your worries go, 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 go. Really happened in real time 2 days ago. My man Dees is out in Lisbon, Portugal right now, which I'm loving. I'm Portuguese. Went there once when I was 18. So it's been longer in my life since I was there, but still I do remember it, Dees. I hope you're having a good time in Lisbon. Lisboa, they call it over there. And we're going to get into the news, guys. Let's see what we got going on over here. This is something we need to be aware of. If this happens to you, you could have coronavirus. If you've lost your sense of smell or the sense of taste, you could be a hidden carrier of the coronavirus. Darn it. So if this happens, guys, be careful. Dees, it's incredible in Portugal. I haven't been there in 21 years, my friend. 22 years, something like that. I'd love to hear more about it. One of these days, I'll check out your feed and see if I catch any information there about the pork chop situation. I call it pork chops. I'm a pork chop. So let's just read this. I want to make sure you guys are aware. Again, I'm keeping you up to date on all of the updates here. Donald Trump is doing his part. Dr. Fauci's coming on as well. He's got a little bit of a Bloomberg thing going on, but anyway. A sudden loss of smell, known as anosmia or hyposmia, could be a symptom of the coronavirus, even if patients experience no other symptoms, according to leading rhinologists in UK. So, the evidence from South Korea, China, and Italy suggests that many patients with COVID-19 may have experienced a loss of smell without any other symptoms. So that's interesting. So you're just like kicking along and all of a sudden you don't taste anything, you don't smell anything. You could be a carrier of the coronavirus. So you got to be aware of these things, guys. Some people just do not have symptoms, but do not kid yourself. This thing is a very dangerous disease. I just read a story about a 12-year-old that has no pre-existing conditions that's really struggling to stay alive right now. So I'm very frightened. I have an 11-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 4.5-year-old, and my wife and I. And we're not going anywhere. I'm staying here. I'm staying in this house. I'm not going anywhere. Like, my new thing is, okay, maybe you got to go outside in order to go to the food store, which, again, we're going to need to do that. Do I order and have somebody bring the food? But then they could be contaminated, or whoever was packing the groceries at the food store could be contaminated. So I think the only way is I throw on my ridiculous mask, which you guys have seen me wear before. Let's see if I can find it. Where's my silly mask? Oh, this is the wrong one. Hold on. Here's my silly mask. When I go out, this is what I wear. It's a wrap. I wear that thing. And at the end of the day, I feel safer when I'm outside with that, And I think you need to be wearing something like that because honestly, here's the update that I know of. Anything you could come into your nose, in your mouth, your eyes, possibly even your ears. I don't know if that's accurate, but it definitely comes into your eyes, nose, and in your mouth. Okay. So cover the heck out of that stuff and don't let it. Oh man, it's just such a freaky thing. So keep that in mind, guys. If you lose the sense of smell or your sense of taste, you have no other symptoms, you don't have a fever, you don't have a headache, you don't feel tired, lethargic, you could still have coronavirus if those things happen. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This is to go along with the next part of that story. So our next story is Rudy Gobert, who I don't know if you guys saw this guy, what he did, mental case. He says he lost his sense of smell due to the coronavirus. Now, does anybody remember what he did at a press conference last week, 2 weeks ago? He went and he touched all of the microphones right after his interview, and he was the first person to test positive with coronavirus. So it's a very scary thing. And now he's saying that he's lost the sense of smell. So he says, just to give you guys an update, loss of smell and taste is definitely one of the symptoms. I haven't been able to smell anything for the last 4 days. Anyone experiencing the same thing? This is Rudy Gobert. So keep that in mind, guys. If you start to feel something, Gobert said a week ago his condition was improving, but this seems to be a new development. Can coronavirus, I don't want to touch my nose even though I'm in my house, can coronavirus cause you to lose your smell? Loss of smell this is what we just discussed. It absolutely can be, has been happening. So keep your senses, you want to make sure you're using them all. Okay. If you all of a sudden are down to 4 or 3, you got a problem. All right. What was the next story here? Let me close that down. I'm working off of a whole new setup here, guys. Can you tell? I'm sure you can. I'm looking up at the ceiling because I have this massive TV screen in front of me and it's on the wall. So I have to look up to see it. Taj, what's up, my friend? How are you? It's so good to see you. We're going through a few stories right now, Taj. This is day 448 in a row, part 1. Part 2 is later on. It's a fire episode where we get the beat seat going. And we play some music for you. Yesterday was such a good music episode. If you've not listened to the Real Talk podcast yet, it's free of charge on any network. And all you have to do is go and download it. And every episode will inform you when it's new. This was such a good episode yesterday. I had to drop it for you today. So check it out. And this is a very, very good story because we're all freaking out, right, guys? I haven't read this yet, but I want to see what it says. Why this Nobel laureate predicts a quicker coronavirus recovery. We're going to be fine. This is what he's saying, right? Let's see. Michael Levitt, a Nobel laureate and Stanford biologist, began analyzing the number of COVID-19 cases worldwide in January and correctly calculated that China would go through the worst of its coronavirus outbreak long before many health experts had predicted. He now foresees a similar outcome in the United States and the rest of the world, while many epidemiologists are warning of months or even years of massive social disruption and millions of deaths. Levitt says the data simply does not support a dire situation, especially in areas where reasonable social distancing measures are in place. What we need is to control the panic, he said. In the grand scheme, we're going to be fine. Here's what Levitt noticed in China. On January 31st, the country had 46 new deaths due to the novel coronavirus, compared to 42 new deaths the day before. Although the number of daily deaths had increased, the rate that it had increased had begun to ease off. In his view, the fact that new cases were being identified in slower rates was more telling than the number of new cases itself. It was an early sign that the trajectory of the outbreak had shifted. Think of the outbreak as a car racing down an open highway, he said. Although the car was still gaining speed, it's not accelerating as rapidly as before. This suggests that the rate of ratio and increase in number of deaths will slow down even more over the next week, Levitt wrote in a report to his friends on February 1st. This was widely shared on Chinese social media, and soon he predicted the number of deaths would decrease every day. 3 weeks later, Levitt told the China Daily News that the virus rate of growth had peaked. He predicted that the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in China would end up around 80,000, with about 3,250 deaths. On March 16th, China had counted a total of 80,298 and 3,245 deaths. That's pretty sick. He said around 80,000 and 3,250 deaths. It wound up being 3,245 deaths. Is that not insane? Wow. In a nation of nearly 1.4 billion people, where roughly 10 million die each year, that number of newly diagnosed patients has dropped to around 25 a day, with no cases of community spread reported since Wednesday. So it's very interesting. This guy seems to know what he's talking about. So it's not doom and gloom totally, guys. Maybe we get through this. Maybe there's a way that we could find our way out of the darkness and into the light. But for this group of teenagers, it's not the case. Did you hear about these crazy morons? A group of Florida college students traveling together on spring break have tested positive for the novel coronavirus. 6 students at the University of Tampa have tested positive for the novel coronavirus, the university said in a statement on Sunday. 4 students are self-isolating on campus, and the other 2 students are doing so elsewhere. None of the students have had to been hospitalized thus far. The University of Tampa has moved all course instruction online, though it has not forced students to leave campus. 6 students have tested. I just read that. What the? 1 student was traveling internationally and was tested on March 16th at the on-campus Dickey Health and Wellness Center for COVID-19. The student is now self-isolating on campus. The other 5 students were traveling with another classmate during the university's spring break. According to the university statement, while 4 of the other infected students have returned to campus and self-isolating, 1 student had not. Dun, dun, dun. Where did he go? What's going on? Where is he? Is he out there just infecting people? Did you guys hear about Rand Paul? He gets tested for the coronavirus, for SARS-2. And he's like, I'm going to go swimming in the Senate pool. How about that? Networking Miami, how are you? I'm just going to go swimming in the pool and let's go to the gym. Let me work out where all these other lawmakers go and work out. I just got tested for coronavirus because I'm not feeling that great. Guess what? He has coronavirus. And I bet you're going to start seeing him knocking one by one. I went in there, I was doing my legs. I was on the legs machine. I didn't realize that Rand Paul had coronavirus. It's going to happen, guys. I'm just telling you. I'm a little nervous about it because what happens if everybody gets coronavirus? I'm gonna one-up this, guys. I don't know if you realize this. In early March, we are still in March right now. In early March, China had an outbreak of N5N1 bird flu. Do you guys know what that is? That one has a 60% mortality rate. 6 means 6 out of 10 people die that get that. Right now, out of 100 people, 2 die, maybe 3 die. Think about this for a second. Out of 100 people, 2 to 3 will die right now from this thing we're going through and we're shutting down for. This outbreak that happened in a very close to Wuhan. This is in a Hubei province, I believe, in China. They had to kill like 18,000 birds because they were dying. Like 7,000 birds died because of this flu, this avian flu. It's called H5N1. Is that what it's called? N5H1? H5N1? Anybody know what I'm talking about here? Someone give me some info. Look it up. Google. There is an outbreak of something even worse than coronavirus, and it kills 6 out of 10 people. No one's talking about it. Because there's no human case yet. But if it gets to a human, it's so much worse than this coronavirus. And it just makes me realize how scary this world is. And I talked about this recently. I'm wondering if we have somehow brought this upon ourselves with all of our negativity. I feel like when the world is sick of being abused, our society's abused each other for so long, you just create so much negativity that sometimes things are birthed. Things just come to life because you bring them to life with all the nastiness out there. And I don't know, I hope that's not the case. I hope we get through this. I hope we get back to where we should be, which is normal. But there's a very good chance that we don't. There's a very good chance that, this continues for a while. And when we do go back to normal, we will never be the same again. So I just want to share one other story here that's kind of interesting. We are all being very careful, and I think that's a smart thing to do. Do it now. Shut things down, get it out of the way, and let's get back, right? So for the first time in 228 years, the New York Stock Exchange will open without its trading floor. This was actually a story for yesterday, and we didn't get to do the news because I did 2 hours of just straight up like pontificating and then live music on the beat seat yesterday. So let me read this to you, okay? For the first time in 228-year history, the stock exchange in New York will open without a trading floor. The disruption is symbolic, underscoring how the new coronavirus has run riot throughout the world. The floor closure itself will likely have little, if any, impact on the $28 trillion stock market. Trading will be fully electronic when the bell rings, and buying and selling starts at 9:30 a.m. New York time. Most of the action already took place in the data center, and now, temporarily, all of it will. Executives are shutting down the trading floor to protect employees and stop the spread of COVID-19, as New York is declared a major disaster. Whew. While heavy cleaning, I don't know if I just want to point something out to you guys that these, like the mayor of New York and the governor, that they're all sticking their chests out now and acting like they did something. These people were the ones who were like, oh, we don't care. It's no big deal. Go look back at the tape. They were all like, oh, it's no big deal. It's not going to affect us. It's a China thing. And then now they're blaming everybody else. Look, you cannot point fingers here. There's no way to stop something like this. It's invisible. What you need to do is social distance. What you need to do is shut down for 2 weeks. Don't go out. Don't talk to people. Your normal course of action changes for 2 weeks. Plus, who cares? However long it takes, we need to get back to normal. Doesn't happen if people are getting this and dying. There's no rhyme or reason anymore. Oh, well, only if you have underlying health conditions. No. People with zero underlying health conditions are dying from this. There's no cure. So, I don't want to hear it anymore. People, oh, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. You don't know how your body's going to react. You have no idea how you will react to this disease. It's a disease, guys. So, stock exchange, first time in 228 years without a stock trading floor. How about that? Let's see, guys. So, I'm back with you here. I'm back with you here, and I just want you guys to know I appreciate you. Peter, Jeffrey, Nicole, thank you for tuning in. And just remember, guys, if you have any topics you'd like to get into on the Real Talk program, all you gotta do is ask. All you gotta do is shoot a DM to me or send a little note at the bottom. Yesterday, my man Dan was like, hey, write a song about Donald Trump and Joe Biden having a baby together. And I was like, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Let's do it. And I made a song up, and it may have been terrible. I don't know. It's on the podcast. You should check it out. And so anyway, that's it for today, guys. We have some news for you. Yeah, super quick episode, 23 minutes. We've done that since the begin, right? But I will be back with you this evening. Don't forget that. Just remember to subscribe and ding the bell on YouTube. That's where the show goes. And I will play you one more time. I like to do this at least twice on the way through. My call from Donald Trump, just so we can hear what he has to say again. This is just his daily update here on the Real Talk program. And listen to the words, guys. He knows what he's talking about sometimes. Let's see. Donald, you there? Donald.
Well, Mark, I want to thank you for having me on again today.
Thank you for coming on the show again.
It's been a whirlwind here trying to figure out what we do with coronavirus.
Yeah, I know.
Do we shut down the government? Do we shut down business? Do we send checks to everybody?
You may want to do all of the above.
All of the above?
Yeah.
Well, It's possible. We need to figure it out now because it's getting really scary out there.
It is.
Did you see Rand Paul has coronavirus?
I did see that. It's crazy.
Who's next? Mitt Romney, maybe? I heard Mitt Romney may have coronavirus. That would be a good thing for America.
Why would
Did
that
you
be
see
good
what
for
he did
America?
against me? In the impeachment process? It's ridiculous.
Donald, come on.
So who's next? Who are we going to see? Kevin Durant? Oh, he has it?
Yeah,
Did you know that
he
in
has it.
Italy, if you put the numbers next to Italy, it's not looking good.
No,
No.
it's not.
It's looking very, very dangerous for us. So we need to self-quarantine.
Agreed.
We need to stay inside.
I know.
Are you doing that, Mark? I hope you're staying inside with your family.
I am home. I'm in self-quarantine, Donald.
Good.
I am.
Good. That's what I want to hear. I just want to know that you're doing what you can to stay safe.
Of course.
I want to thank you for having me on the program again today.
I want to thank you for coming on the show again. I love
Every
it.
time I come on the show, we seem to get into some new things, don't we?
We do.
But look, I have to tell you, I am here. Every day I'll be briefing you with an update on the Real Talk program, so
That's
keep
awesome.
tuning in. Just make sure you tune in, Real Talk, twice a day during this crazy ordeal.
That is true. Twice
It's
a day.
keeping us occupied with entertainment. Such a beautiful thing. Anyway, I'll see you later. Thanks again, Mark, for having me on the program.
Thank you. He always hangs up before I can even thank him. How about that? Anyway, listen, guys, that was the Donald Trump call for the day, and I'm not sure what will be on tonight's episode. I'm sure some sort of face swap, but remember, you can personalize your own face swaps now. You want to book a face swap? Go to the markpyersrealtalk.com website. It's all right there on the main page, and we can create a song for you as well in real time, just like this from 2 days ago. I'll see you guys later. Send your topics. Any potential songs, I'll play them for you as well. See you tomorrow. Well, later, not tomorrow. About 9:30. It's Mark Pyers.